In the race to becoming the best-selling subcompact crossover in 2025, Subaru's had to make a few changes. As we found out a couple of weeks ago, the Chevrolet Trax has now taken over this segment under $30,000. But Subaru isn't going away quietly. Today we'll be taking a very quick look at the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Premium. Now, I've always felt the Premium was the best value because it came in under $30,000. You got a lot of features available to you for this model. But 2025 is a bit different. In today's video, we're going to check out what is new, possibly what's under the hood for the interior. Also, of course, take a good long look at the exterior and see why, if you are looking at buying a Subaru Crosstrek right now, maybe you held out back in 2024, you're looking at buying a new vehicle at around $30,000, then maybe taking a look at the Subaru Crosstrek Premium might be a great decision. Now, before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout and thank you to Ira Subaru in Danvers, Massachusetts for letting me come down here to do a very quick video for this model. Their link will be in the description below, so you can check out their extensive Subaru inventory. So as always, let's begin with pricing. For 2025 with the Subaru Crosstrek Premium, you're looking at a starting cost of just over $27,000. Now, this is one of my concerns for this model, more specifically the Premium compared to the Limited, Sport, and Wilderness, mostly because compared to 2024, there is about a $1,000 price hike, and that does create a bit of an issue if you are someone on a stricter budget under $30,000. Now, the reason why we have seen that price hike is because of what's found under the hood. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Now, I do think, though, the Premium is still going to be a great value. However, our model also demonstrates that there is some optional packages that then pushes this vehicle's price tag over 30 grand. So let's start off with the exterior for the 2025 model. This is not going to be a mid-cycle refresh. In fact, if you were to park this next to a 2024 model, you wouldn't even know the difference. This is more about providing a lot more value on the low end in the Crosstrek lineup, where it can be competitive against some newer subcompacts that are out there right now. So up front, you are going to receive steering responsive LED headlights and LED fog lights for better visibility at night or in adverse weather conditions. Now, our model, with it being gray, you're not going to notice the gray accents as much for the grille, but it does give you that sportier and more rugged appearance. You're also going to notice the cladding once again for the lower portion of the front bumper. This is exactly why a lot of buyers up here in New England absolutely love this model, because it is going to give you that versatility and capability with the 8.7 inches of ground clearance and super symmetrical all-wheel drive coming standard. I still think this is a great looking model, even though it has been around for quite some time, and the fact you do get the LED headlights coming standard, that does go a long way. Now, as you make your way over to the side profile with the Premium, you are going to receive 17-inch wheels here. Now, we've had a lot of experience with the Crosstrek over the past 5 years, and what I can tell you is that these 17s are going to give you a bit more on-road comfort. Obviously, the Crosstrek is a subcompact crossover. It's not going to be overly refined. It's not going to be like a Forester or Outback. So if you want a quieter experience and a more isolated feel being behind the wheel, you might want to go with those two models. But for a vehicle under $30,000, the 17 should most certainly do the job if you frequently go on road trips, you're on the highway, or on those weekday commutes. Now, as always with this model, you will have body color folding side mirrors with turn signal indicators, but our model does have blind spot detection. That is optional. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Then as you make your way around to the back, obviously, nothing new here, so you're not going to have LED taillights. Not too much of a surprise at all, but I think a lot of people would like to see it and make its way in future model years. Of course, you're going to have the cladding once again for the lower portion of the rear bumper. And obviously, with it being a lifted Impreza, it definitely has that hatchback look, but in rugged form. But the reason why we are here is mostly because of what's found under the hood. All new for the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Premium is the 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine. Now, this was only found in the Sport, Limited, and Wilderness. And you could only receive the 2-liter, which is now found in the base, giving you 152 horsepower and 145 pound-feet of torque. But now with this 2.5, we have 182 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque, and as always, it is paired with the CVT. Now, why is this so important? Why is this a drastic change. Well, in the past, you had to spend close to $30,000 to receive this, and for a vehicle in this market at around $26,000 or $27,000, this is going to be huge. This gives you a lot more power and a lot more bang for your buck. And on top of that, when you are comparing this to its closest rivals, like that Chevrolet Trax, like that Honda HR-V, and Toyota Corolla Cross, this 2.5 gives this model a competitive advantage. But let's talk about the fuel efficiency for a minute, because this model really isn't that bad for a 2.5 and for a non-hybrid, which we are getting a hybrid very soon. So with the Premium, you are going to receive 27 miles per gallon in the city and 33 miles per gallon on the highway for a combined average of 29 miles per gallon. That is not too bad at all for this small subcompact crossover. So if you're looking for a vehicle that is rugged, capable, versatile, but also efficient, the Subaru Crosstrek is going to provide all of that for you. Now, hopping inside the Subaru Crosstrek Premium we have today, we do have one optional package, which brings a lot to the table, but does add on to my concern for the pricing for this model, because the Premium we have today comes in just over $30,000 after taxes and fees, which is a bit steep for a subcompact crossover, but let's get into that package. So for our model, we have the optional package 14, giving us blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert. That alone, great to see for this model. Also, heated front seats, a power driver's seat, and power moonroof. So you're getting a vehicle that feels a bit more premium, no pun intended, and also gives you some of the creature comforts you desire out of a crossover at this price point. Now let's get into these seats. So for the driver's side, you have that power adjustability, whereas the passenger will have to manually find their ideal seating position. No surprise at all for a vehicle in this price range and in its segment. In regards to the comfort for these seats, they're the exact same as last year. So you're going to notice that with this vehicle, it does feel somewhat refined and does give you some of the bare necessities here in regards to that comfort. The bolstering isn't going to be too aggressive, and that doesn't surprise me at all with this model not being a sports crossover. In front of you, you are going to have the exact same layout that we have seen for many years, at least for the gauge cluster. The infotainment system is a bit of a different story, but in front of you, you're going to have a small information display in between your analog gauges, and by using the toggles on the left side of the steering wheel, you can scroll through a variety of information, such as your outside temperature, which it is very cold today, but also your digital speedometer. You can also check out your remaining fuel range and average fuel economy, and of course a tire pressure monitoring system. So it does give you the information that you desire most, and it is most relevant to you. Now with this steering wheel, it's not leather wrapped, so it's not going to feel like a luxury crossover in here, but you do have firm 10-2 grips, but also 9-3 grips as well, and better yet, you do have paddle shifters here, so you can rotate the gears yourself, even though they are simulated. However, like I talked about before many times in the past, with the 2.5, the CVT does mimic the gear shifts quite well, especially with this powertrain compared to the 2-liter that is offered in the base and in the Premium last year. Now on the steering wheel, you will find buttons that will control your radio, but also your volume and tuning, and better yet, your hands-free calling buttons. On the right side of the steering wheel will be buttons that control your adaptive cruise control and lane centering. You're also going to find your SI drive mode here as well. So in sport, this vehicle does feel a bit more lively and a bit more frisky, but this is hardly a sports crossover. Then taking a look at the infotainment system, you are going to receive an 11.6-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. While people have complained in the past that this screen is a bit more difficult to get used to, especially the way it's laid out since it is very tablet-like, you're still going to have physical buttons and dials for your volume and tuning on both sides of the screen, also for your front and rear defrosters, and dual zone climate control. That is right, dual zone climate control for the Premium at around $27,000. That is great to see, and when you pair that up with your 2-level heated front seats, that does go a long way. At the bottom of the screen, you can control your dual zone climate control from here, but also fan speed, fan direction, and then of course the AC. You're also going to have some menu layouts here for your vehicle control tab, such as your vehicle dynamics control, that's basically traction control, your X mode, cruise control, acceleration speed, auto vehicle hold, steering responsive headlights, and auto start stop. You can turn that on or off at your discretion. Also your driving assistance features, such as your pre-collision braking, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, and rear cross traffic alert and blind spot detection. I will leave that on for added safety and peace of mind. And then lastly, for your more settings tab, you can adjust the warning volume levels. I would go as low as possible because Subaru safety systems are quite loud. And it's from here where you can adjust your units of measurement. Now, there is one thing I do want to point out here if you are new to the Subaru Crosstrek, because there is one big difference for the interior, or really for the capability, I should say, and that is X mode. Now, we've always had X mode, but we now have dual function X mode, giving us snow and dirt and deep snow and mud, but also hill descent control. This wasn't always the case for the Premium in the past. You could only get dual function X mode with the Sport trim and Wilderness, but now to have this for the Premium, that is going to give you a lot more capability and confidence when you are taking on some elements throughout the year. Now, when you do place the Crosstrek in reverse, you are going to have a rear backup camera with trajectory and also active trajectory at that. Some vehicles don't offer that under $30,000. Obviously, with this being a Crosstrek and a Premium, you're not going to have a top view camera or a side view, but that is to be expected for an SUV under $30,000. Continuing on, beneath the head unit, you will have a USB-C and USB-A outlet. And also, we do have a wireless phone charging pad. That is right, it is available for the Premium. That is great to see. For the center console itself, you're going to have your gear selector here. And best of all, no gloss black trim. So this will be very easy to clean and maintain. You're going to find your electronic parking brake and also your switches for your 2-level heated front seats. You're also going to find 2 cup holders and your 12-volt outlet. Then for the storage compartment, there is plenty of room for smaller items. I do think you can throw in a small water bottle or two, which is great to see. And then to round out the front seating area, above will be that optional power moonroof, which does bring in some natural light to the interior. Now, moving on for passengers in the back, since this is the exact same generation as last year, there is no difference in regards to interior space. Now, you are going to have 36.5 inches of legroom, which would be on par with a lot of vehicles in this market, but it's not class leading. I've adjusted the seat most of the way back. It's also somewhat on a recline, and I have a good amount of legroom here, so I do think taller passengers can sit back here pretty comfortably, although they might be hitting their head on the headliner with the Crosstrek having that lower roof line. Since you do have a center hump here, I don't think you'll be squeezing in a third person in the center. I've always said this, I've always recommended this. If you are looking for a vehicle where you can accommodate a third person in the second row, you might want to go with that Forester. That is the family-friendly option in the lineup. Now, in regards to shoulder room though, plenty of it. So I think if you just have 2 people in the back, everyone should be relatively comfortable. Now, no surprises here, you're not going to receive 2 center-mounted air vents for the second row with the Premium. However, you are going to have a USB-C and USB-A outlet. Then to round out the second row seating area, you do get a center armrest with 2 cup holders. Now, making our way around to the back one more time, take a look at the rear cargo area. Might as well go over practicality for good measure. Obviously, you're not going to receive a power liftgate with the Premium, but you are going to receive a good amount of practicality here. So behind the second row seats, you're looking at right around 19 cubic feet of room. No difference compared to 2024. Now, this isn't going to be class leading, but falls right in line with all of its closest rivals. So if you are someone who's constantly on the go, you can easily store probably 8, 9, 10 bags of luggage back here with limited issues. Now, also, you can go with the rear cargo cover, which will keep all your valuable items out of sight. So if you are like me and you have camera gear or anything else of value, you can leave them back here and have that peace of mind knowing that nobody will be able to peek in and steal what you have. On both sides of the rear cargo area though, you are going to have some cubbies for some smaller items, maybe a couple water bottles, car detail equipment, or maybe even a first aid kit. When the second row seats are folded, you're looking at right around 54 to 55 cubic feet of room, which falls right in line with most of its rivals in this segment. Now, better yet though, and this is very important, beneath the floor mat, you are going to receive a spare tire. So if you encounter a flat on those road trips or travels, you can fix that and be back on the road. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick review for the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Premium. If you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Also, let me know in the comment section below, because I know a lot of you are Subaru loyalists. You've been following this channel for a long time. What do you think about the 2.5? Is that a game changer for this trim? Let me know in that comment section. But guys, once again, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time.